Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys slash Hono Studio 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today, we're taking a look at comic book Iron Man. This, unless I'm forgetting any, is their fourth attempt now at giving us a 1/6 scale comic book Iron Man. Is this the best one yet? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Hono Studio content goes live. Let me quickly clarify what I just said. So this is Hono Studios' first comic book Iron Man, that's true, but Hono is a sub-brand of Hot Toys, and they gave us clear plastic Iron Man, then stealth Iron Man, and the yellow and red one, comic book style, not counting War Machine, but if you are, then this is their fifth attempt. So that just sets the scene. As for the box art, up front, we've got this really vibrant, poppy, comic book style image of Iron Man. It's evocative of old school comic book covers, like the pose and everything, but I think this is custom artwork if I had to guess. If you know any different, let me know down in the comments. His name up top, his name as this logo that sits proud of the surface on this bottom flap, then his name one more time below that. This video is brought to you by JustinsCollection.shop, the home of the figure first aid kit, as well as other accessories to help your collection be the best it can be. The first aid kit contains multiple tools to help you with maintenance, styling rooted hair, and much more. We also sell crotch grabbers, soft rubber tips to prevent damage, and they're compatible with most modern Hot Toys base molds. Acrylic risers come in multi-packs. They're optically clear, thick and sturdy, and stackable. Check out the link to JustinsCollection.shop in the description. They really want you to know this is Iron Man on the side of the box. Iron Man just blending in with the background, this gradient effect, and this almost cross-hatch or half-tone look to it. Then that Iron Man comic book logo as well. These Hono Studio releases were meant to be their entry-level figures. But now with the release of Iron Man, he is pricier than Wolverine and Magneto and Spider-Man just because of the medical silicone and the light-up effects. Is there room in the market for a cheaper sub-brand of Hot Toys that releases exclusives like Brown Suit Wolverine and pricier figures like this comic book Iron Man? Just food for thought. I don't actually know the answer to that question yet. Around the back, comic book logo, some figure photography, warnings, and then legal information at the bottom. When you're unboxing this, don't read this. It's pure nonsense. It's just Hot Toys tooting their own trumpet, really. On the underside of the slipcover, that's where you'll find the instructions. First in-hand impressions for the medical silicone-clad Hono Studio Iron Man. So far, really interesting, actually. He's surprisingly heavy. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some die-cast underneath the medical silicone covering the limbs. What we're going to do now is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Which isn't going to take us very long, because this is it. Base, hands, face plates, and this is a stretch, but the hip discs. Starting off with the base first. Usual Hono style with the comic book cover in the background there, we'll get to it. It's too big. I've always thought these bases are too large. I still think that. Iron Man stands here. All the rest of this is wasted space. It's not like you can say, oh, well, you need that platform to have him balanced in the air. There's no waist clamp. There's no flight pole. It's a crotch grabber on a translucent pole there. I like the gold around the edge. It's nice and shiny. And the Iron Man logo, I just wish it was larger and maybe in the center of the base. The comic book cover you need to cut out yourself from the inside of the box. We'll touch on that in the pros and cons segment. You can use your own comic book if you don't like the cover they've given you. It's just that this is clamshell plastic. It's not UV protected. It might warp your books. I would not put rare comics in this backdrop piece. It's just not safe. Also, there's this random black bar at the bottom that's unsightly, and if you slot this in, then the base looks complete. But when you remove it, there's this channel and this kick up at the back. I think they need to reduce the size of their bases, focus on logos and artwork. Then for the comic book backdrop, still do it, but make them freestanding pieces instead. So that way they're way more optional and a lot more flexible. I think that makes more sense. Separate the two pieces, but still include both. We get two different faceplate options. This one was installed on him right out of the box. Love that metallic flake and the shine to it. Then this faceplate is my favorite of the two. Extra detail work for the mouth, the spikes up top, and no lenses. That's because he's got some painted eyes that are going to be visible through those slots in the faceplates once we install them. You'll see what I mean a little bit later. So these hip discs, lightweight plastic, magnets on these hinge flap things, the gloss is glorious, the red is stunning, but they feel so cheap. They attach to his hips with those magnets on those flaps. I'll have to show you, but they also pull double duty as the power switches for the light up effect. You hover these over the arc reactor and the repulsors, that's how you turn on the LEDs. Because, yeah, there's LEDs on the end of his ball joints for his wrist pegs. The light will shine through these translucent yellow plastic windows for the repulsors. We'll try that out. And the contrast between the yellow and red, that looks great. I'm nervous about the metallic red for the hands because they've got a terrible track record with painting PVC in metallic red and it turning pink over the years. I hope that doesn't happen with this. We also get two closed fists already installed on him right out of the box. And check out the shine on these. What we're going to do now is get Iron Man himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. This is how you do it. This is how you do comic book Iron Man justice in 1/6 scale. Whoever let the Hono studio team cook, you deserve a raise, my friend. Because I can imagine the pitch. It would have been met with skepticism and trepidation because someone would have said, you know what? I want to make an Iron Man with medical silicon limbs. Such an out there decision, something they've never tried before. It's dangerous, it's risky, but I'm pleased to report they've pulled it off and they made it look easy. The color choice, the soft gold, still on the yellow side, not on the orange side, so it looks like the comic book cover and the box art for this piece. That gets a tick. The metallic red, there's a gloss, there's a sheen to it, and the engineering. With the medical silicon, with the metal endoskeleton, the way this thing moves, unexpected, to say the least. So what I'm trying to say is, Hot Toys, Hono Studio, y'all freaking killed it. Up close and personal, he is so smooth, and I mean that literally as well as figuratively. The gloss finish tells you all you need to know about how this guy feels in hand. Slick is the best way I can describe it. It's just musculature and ribbing. There's no circuitry or extra panel lines that they've added themselves because they felt the design was too boring. This piece is not about that. Quick question for y'all, do you like that? When companies take an existing comic book or cartoon design, I know Transformers fans struggle with this a lot, and add their own flair to it, with circuitry and all of that other extra detail work that wasn't present in the original source material. I like a direct one-to-one translation when done right, like this. It can look like $1 million. So the head sculpt. It's just the right size for me. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's not too long, it's not too narrow. Everything proportions-wise looks solid, and that goes for the rest of the body as well. But seeing his eyes through the faceplate, painted eyes with a gloss to them, when light hits them, they glisten. It adds some extra visual interest to the front of a faceplate that was already very interesting. We've got the chiseled edges, but they're soft as well. Sharper creases up top, and even some definition for the eyebrow area. But the rest of the helmet is that pure, glossy, metallic red finish. We've got the bump outs for the ears, but that's it. Everything else is smooth for the helmet. Now, taking off the faceplate is not the easiest thing in the world to do, and I'm so sorry for this. It's nightmare fuel. He's got eyebrows. You can't see the eyebrows through the faceplates, but he's got eyebrows. I would have liked a full Tony Stark face underneath the faceplates, but I understand why they didn't do that, probably for cost-saving measures. This one, this faceplate with the spikes up top, now that it's on this piece, it's confirmed it for me. This is how I'm going to display him. We've still got the raised bits for the eyebrows and all of the chiseled sections around the front, how it narrows down towards the bottom, and the extra detail work for the mouth. Come on, there's no comparison seeing that detail, the gold line work through that mouth. You still got the eyes, but now the spikes. Still, let me know which faceplate you prefer. The proportions are killer. The big round shoulders, the chunky biceps. In the comics, correct me if I'm wrong, but this suit was made out of some kind of liquid metal that coated Tony's body. That's why it showcased all of the musculature. However, there's the ribbed diaper section, the ribbed gauntlets, and the ribbed boots. The shoulder discs, they're solid sculpted plastic, whereas the arms are medical silicone. We are getting to the silicone. Back muscles, then this bump out at the bottom that sits over the top of the bottom part of the back. Still some musculature present. This is sculpted plastic as well. I would be careful of this spike digging into the metallic red paint because that could happen if you go crazy with articulation. Because this is not my fault, I promise, I didn't do this. Out of the box, the top chest piece was pressed up against the abs and there's an indentation in the red paint, which is very unfortunate. I wish they'd have sealed the paint properly or made sure it was more durable than this, but as you can see, that is a possibility if you're not careful. Now the arms. Thick as medical silicone, super thick in fact. There's some flex to them, they don't feel sticky. If that's what you're worried about, you don't want a bendy Iron Man that's all rubbery and sticky, it doesn't feel like that. They've put this smooth coating, this clear layer over the top that is likely going to protect the metallic gold finish, but also stop it from getting sticky. It's not your usual style of matte silicone. It's extremely hard to explain, you'll just have to see what I mean when you get yours in hand. But the benefit of medical silicone is seamless joints. Can you leave his elbow in a 90-degree bend permanently? I don't know. I've not been brave enough to try that myself with any of my Hono Studio Wolverine figures. Will I do it with Iron Man? Still probably not, because this is so scary. You can see some creasing, and that tells me that if you leave that elbow bent for long enough, those creases may become permanent. So that extends down to the legs as well. Full medical silicone, soft but slick, not sticky. The ratchet joints on the inside do a good job of holding position. It's just leaving the legs bent, putting that much pressure on the medical silicone at the front. That could split. I'm not saying that's going to happen. This could be a stress-tested material that Hot Toys worked on for 10 years before they started to use it. They also could have just stumbled across it recently and decided to pop it in their figures. We will never know because they simply will not tell us. I don't want to make it sound all doom and gloom. This, visually speaking, is a triumph. It is a masterpiece of an Iron Man release. Incredible idea using medical silicone to hide joints on a comic book Iron Man. I am so here for it. Even though I'm going to be careful when it comes to posing, that does not take anything away from the look of this. Same thing with the boots. Single piece sculpts, flexible as. So much range. More range, in fact, than the die-cast version of this look for Iron Man. And we've got a toe joint. They've still managed to include a toe joint. There's not as much range as the sculpted one. Unlike the ankle joint, still, it is there. Let's switch back to the normal faceplate for continuity. Then we can try out the LED light-up effect. The way you activate the LEDs once you've installed the stupid little button cell batteries inside the various compartments is something that I want to see carried forward to their MCU Iron Man releases. These hip discs, well, they don't have to be hip discs. They can be some other kind of thing with a magnet in them to activate the LEDs for MCU figures, but These flaps, magnets on the inside, wave them over the arc reactor and the repulsors, but we'll get there. The light turns on. The simplicity of not having to open compartments and flick mini switches, just using a magnet to turn the lights on, it's intuitive, it's innovative, I already said it, but this is the way forward. For a quick side-by-side comparison, let's just do it. Rip the band-aid off. Most difficult question right off the bat. Hot Toys on the right versus Hono Studio on the left. Which one is best? I like certain things about the Hot Toys one, I do. The accessory count, the diecast content, the Tony Stark head sculpt, the display base. When you compare it to the Hono Studio one, there is no comparison. Hono might be cheaper, might have less detail to the suit, but it's so much more comic book accurate. If you're trying to pick between them, it's going to be tough. I personally would be going with Hono. This is what we need next from you, Hono. A war machine. Silver medical silicon arms. Chuck in some blast effects, but keep it simple. No clear plastic. For now, this is going to be my pairing for this Hono Studio Iron Man, but if they decide to give us their own version of War Machine, the clear plastic one, oh, it's going to be gone. Clear plastic Iron Man. I like the metallic red and the metallic gold versus the flat colors for the comic book Hot Toys Iron Man release, but I get metallic red and gold with this Hono Studio piece. So, once again, picking between them, gotta go with Hono. And finally, this looks surprisingly good. A more realistic video game Spider-Man in the classic suit PS4 figure next to Hono Studio Iron Man. I could potentially display these two together. I don't think either one of them looks out of place next to the other. Going over articulation, I've been looking forward to this segment because I'm properly curious to find out how this guy moves given it's a brand new body, brand new engineering, and medical silicon. Let's just get started. The head sculpt, ball joint at the base of the neck, ball joint underneath it, likely a hinge as well, looking up, plenty of range for a flight pose. Combined forward to there, not as much as back, but plenty for me. Then swivel and tons of pivot side to side. Arms go up to there, unhindered by the medical silicon, forward and back. There's a butterfly joint that comes out, but then the arm can also hinge up and down on it. There is a swivel at the bicep, kind of tricky to access given the nature of medical silicon, it's quite soft. I would suggest bending the elbow first, then you can actuate that bicep swivel. Speaking of the elbow, ratcheted double bend going past 90, but the bicep, being as large as it is, collides with the gauntlet and pushes the forearm back down. The wrist peg, it's a ball joint. You can extend the torso up if you need more range. Ball joint at the waist, ball joint at the midsection, combined, crunching forward to there, springs back, going back to there, gets quite gappy, you'll have to accommodate for that. Then swivel at both joints and some pivot side to side. Legs drop down at the hips, only one click though, I was expecting more than that. Going forward, the medical silicon rubs up against the inside of the sculpted plastic diaper piece. Watch out for that. Going out to there, swivel at the hip joint. Ratcheted double bend at the knee, going past 90. Single piece sculpted boots, but they're that soft material, so going forward and back, no problem. All the way forward even, we get swivel, ankle tilt, and a little bit of toe articulation, but not much. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing, it's been a problem with the previous Hono Studio releases, and it's still a problem. In which boardroom meeting did someone pitch this moronic idea? I don't care that these are entry-level 1/6 scale figures. Getting collectors to cut out the cardboard backdrop from the inside flap on the inside of the art box is ridiculous. What if your scissors aren't sharp enough, you get rough edges, or you bump into something and it's not a straight cut across? Don't be this cheap. Hot Toys, print these backdrops on separate pieces of cardboard. Don't make us do arts and crafts and cut them out ourselves. The second annoying thing is this little flap/magnet mechanism on the inside of the hip discs. Why is it this floppy? It doesn't lock in place, it jostles around, it makes the entire thing feel and sound extremely cheap. At least once you pop these on his hips, they do lock in place relatively well. The third annoying thing is we've got hard sculpted plastic rubbing right up against soft medical silicone. I'm nervous because, as far as I can tell, there's no padding at all on the inside of the pieces that make contact with the silicon, that over time, they're slowly going to eat away at that soft material. The first cool thing is using the magnets in the hip discs to activate and deactivate the LED light up effects. It's fun, it's clever. The only thing that bugs me is they're still relying on button cell batteries. The second cool thing is the medical silicon for the limbs. The shine, the musculature, how slick they feel, how they move, the ratchet joints on the inside of them. Whoever thought up the idea of giving us a comic book Iron Man using medical silicon for the yellow/gold bits? Genius. The third cool thing, they didn't give us many accessories with this Iron Man, but they did chuck in the iconic spiky faceplate. Knowing Hot Toys, this could have been an entirely separate release, like what they did with Unmasked Wolverine. I'm so happy they didn't do that for Iron Man. Wrapping up on a masterpiece of a 1/6 scale comic book Iron Man by Hono Studio. Right off the bat, right out the gate, they delivered the goods. If you are after the best 1/6 scale comic book Iron Man for your collection, get this. If you're after something unique, something that not everyone is going to have in their display, also get this. If you like the idea of an Iron Man suit without visible joints absolutely everywhere and the circuitry and the techiness that takes away from that classic look, also get this. So many reasons why this piece is a must-have, in my opinion. Am I worried about the medical silicone in terms of durability because this is the first time they've ever done anything like this? Yes, this is their first time using metallic medical silicone, but not their first rodeo with the material itself. And from reports I've seen online, people have left their Wolverines in dynamic poses without any problems whatsoever. So I've got faith that this Iron Man will last as long as you're careful with it. So at the end of this video, this figure has surprised me. Going in, I thought, oh, here we go, another bare bones Hono Studio figure. Is he even going to be impressive? He is so impressive. He hits that nostalgia button hard, and with the iconic look and the strong silhouette because of the proportions, yeah, you gotta have this. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video. Torso, extend it, and be